What's going on, Buffs Nation?
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm hitting that portal like never before. I already hit it.
So, early signing day has ended, and the Buffs have lined up their class with some solid players. Now, if you look at the class, it's not the largest. It's about 14 total. We've had a decommit that flipped, as well as a player that hit the transfer portal. So, we're going to talk about each one of those, but I want to explain to y'all why the class is the size it is and what that means for the Buffs and why I wouldn't be concerned, because to be absolutely honest, I think things are going to go good. Let's talk about that here on the Prime Time for College Football. I'm your boy Jay. Let's dive into first the class itself. We'll dive into the transfer portal component, in which that's going to be a key part of what Prime is doing for this roster. So make sure you stick around for that, as well as wrap up with the one player that did decide to go ahead and hit the transfer portal, which is a quarterback. Yeah, had a quarterback that hit the portal. And so first and foremost, let's take a gander at this class. Of course, your main component there is Julian Lewis right there at the top, your 5-star quarterback, the number 2 player on ESPN's rankings. And your quarterback is usually your lead. He's the one that you want to get in place, because that's the one that's going to lead to usually the domino effect of additional players, because a lot of players like to go play with certain players. Quarterbacks will go out and recruit the guys they want, offensive linemen and all of that. But the class being as small, before we go dive deep into it, let me let y'all hear what Coach Prime said about freshmen and why this class is as small as it is.
Just say we get 25 high school players. How many is going to play that freshman year at the most? Let's say 4 or 5, right? And so now you got 20 guys redshirted. So when you go through that spring with that 20 guys redshirted, how many are you going to retain after that spring? Or how many are going to jump in the portal on you? Let's just do it. If any one of you going to go statistically and try to calculate this, I already done it. So it's going to be how many? Half. Okay, why don't I just focus on 10? Guys that can – see, when we grab a freshman, we expect that guy to play.
So an understanding here, Prime is telling you class is small because we're going to focus on the dudes that we can have play now. We've talked about this in another video before, and y'all understand that. Prime's focus is guys that can contribute day one if possible. And he laid it out perfectly. If you got 20 dudes red shirt, and you're probably going to lose half of them to the portal because of opportunity to play. You still got to field depth, which is not that easy, but transfer portal exists, and he has a strategy about that. So stick around, we'll talk about it. But let's look at the players real quick. Julian Lewis leads your class. Following right behind him, Carday Smith, the 4-star tackle. So you get to add him with Jordan Seaton right there on the right. So you got yourself now some bookend young tackles that could potentially, lead the way going over the next couple of seasons. I don't think Jordan lasts after his junior year. Phil Loadhall has done a fantastic job with him, and he's going to probably end up getting drafted very high within 3 years. I don't think he sticks around for a full 4. You had to get your skills guys in Adrian Wilson, the 4-star out of Texas, as well as Quanell Farrakhan, also out of Texas, down there in the Spring area. Then you got Chauncey Gooden, interior offensive lineman, Antonio Branch there at, safety, Christian Hudson on the defensive line out of Florida, which you got a couple of Florida boys with Branch as well as Hudson, bringing in Quentin Gibson, wide receiver out of Fort Worth, Texas. Montrez Walker out of Buford, Georgia. So you got some more Georgia boys. Texas, Florida. Alexander McPherson from IMG Academy pulled him in as well. And then you got a local guy as well. You got Zane DeSouza. He's a legacy, 6'6", 260-pound tight end. Solid dude. And he's very excited about coming to the Buffs and making an impact. Him as well as Corbin Lazier out of Tennessee. So you got 2 nice tall tight ends, 6'5" and 6'6". And then you're adding Jay Crooks, offensive tackle, 6'7", 380. Giant dude. And then London Merritt, your 4-star out of IMG Academy. You're just waiting on everything there to be finalized. So, yeah, for the Buffs, to me, the class is solid. It's solid for what you're trying to do. And Prime really he leaned into what his strategy is. He even talked about it in one. You saw at the beginning of the video. He even leaned into it when he was talking at the press conference. This is what Prime said.
We've handled that. We will have touchbacks next year. I promise you that.
Hey, Coach, how
I
you
told
doing?
you I'm hitting that portal like never before. I already hit it.
So just like last year, Prime's focus is going to be hitting up that portal. And as he said, he's probably already got some irons in the fire. And that's why I said the class is going to be small, and then you're going to see a lot of portal dudes, because the strategy of building this roster is focusing on guys that can play and be impactful ASAP. We saw a lot of freshmen play on this roster this past season. I got to go do the calculations of snaps. Pretty excited to do that for the weekend. You've got young players playing there, and you got a lot of transfer dudes came in. Now, I don't foresee a massive influx of portal guys coming in and out, because this team looks like they're all together, finishing the season 9-3, which is pretty darn good. You doubled your wins 2 years in a row, which is huge. Now it's all about sustaining that number. It's going to be easy. No. It's going to be a challenge. Yes. But hey, all you got to do is make it happen. And so the Buffs got an opportunity to show up, show out, and prove the naysayers wrong with ease. But now let's talk about one guy. We got a quarterback that just hit the transfer portal. Walter Taylor. He has decided to hit the portal. And, Walter's young. He came in. He was a transfer from Vanderbilt, 6'5", 210 out of Jackson, Alabama. And, thank him for pulling up and being part of the team. But the big thing with him is there's a very good chance that he's not going to see the field. You got Juju Lewis coming in. And to be honest, I think Juju's going to walk in, command the respect needed. He may actually win the job day one, right? He could walk in and do that. And so he's only played in about 5 games, not with the Buffs, mainly out there at Vanderbilt. And so sad to see him go, but I understand why. I understand why he went ahead and hit that portal, because, again, the path to play isn't there for him. And so that's usually why guys go ahead and hit the portal. He was young, and so probably go move on, G5 or something like that, get him an opportunity to get some ball out there. But that's really the class. The class is wrapped up. Prime and M's now focused on the portal, which will blow up this weekend. Colorado doesn't have the major problem like a lot of teams when it comes to the amount of kids that are going to have to leave in order to clear everything out. So it should be good, but you're going to see a massive influx of portal players hit. We'll definitely keep you all abreast and up to date on who all hits the portal, because the good thing is this Colorado team is still pretty young. A solid amount of seniors, but it's not going to be too massive when it comes to guys having to leave. It's going to be the choices of getting those dudes that are ready to compete day one. So let me know what y'all think. Hop in those comments. We would love to hear from you all. All right, we'll talk more about the roster and transfer portal targets, players to keep your eyes out for. We'll keep some info flowing over the next few days. And we'll chop it up soon.